Okay, picture this. You're sitting in your truck at, say, 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. Your phone buzzes. It's your dispatcher. 3 calls came in this morning. 2 went straight to voicemail. And one customer? Well, they already booked with someone else. And you know exactly why. You already know. The other guy answered his phone in 90 seconds, and you answered in 47 minutes. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are breaking down a truly fascinating case study about a contractor who completely misdiagnosed his own business. He thought he had a lead problem. He thought he just needed more people calling his phone. But as we're going to see by unpacking this story, he actually had a velocity problem. $8,000. Seriously, just take a second and imagine hemorrhaging that amount of cash every single month. It pulls you right into the absolute pain point this contractor was experiencing. He spent $8,000 a month on Google local services ads for 2 entire years. And you know what the crazy part is? The leads actually came. The phone was ringing constantly. But all of that money was just masking a much deeper, much more expensive flaw in the very foundation of how his business was operating. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the lead volume trap. It is honestly one of the most common and frankly most fatal misconceptions out there. This deeply held belief that a struggling service business simply needs more leads. It's the illusion that volume cures everything, right? But the reality of this volume trap is painfully clear when you look at the numbers. Despite pouring $8,000 a month into ads, only 31% of those leads converted into actual jobs. Think about what that actually means on a human level. 2 out of every 3 qualified homeowners who called this contractor first, who were actively looking for help, ultimately chose to hire someone else. He was bleeding anywhere from $340 up to $680 for every single booked job. He kept buying Facebook leads, Angie leads, referral networks, literally the whole shebang. It was a massive financial failure because he was trying to solve a volume problem. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a fire hose when the real issue is that the bucket has a massive leak at the bottom. Which brings us to a major pivot. Section 2, the velocity hack. This is where the story gets incredibly interesting. Our contractor started keeping tabs on a competitor in his market, a legitimate company doing clean, professional work. And as he's reading through their customer reviews, he notices this one specific phrase popping up over and over again. Customers weren't saying they had the best price or they did the absolute highest quality work. Nope. The reviews all said, "They called back so fast." And boom, that was the light bulb moment. What if he just acquired his competitors' leads and simply called them back faster? So he runs this bold, almost crazy experiment. He goes to a major lead aggregator site and downloads a list of homeowners who had requested roofing quotes in the past 30 days, but hadn't hired anyone yet. These were effectively dead competitor leads, people contacted once and then completely abandoned. He bought a batch of roughly 40 of these discarded leads for just $340. He imported them into his system, flagged them as high priority, and made a hard commitment. He was going to call every single one of them within 15 minutes of that lead hitting his phone. The results? Immediate. And honestly, explosive. The very first lead was a woman named Patricia. She had roof damage from a storm, had contacted a competitor on a Monday morning, and was left waiting until Tuesday afternoon just for a simple voicemail. Our contractor called her at 2:17 p.m. on Tuesday. She picked up. She was completely tired of waiting for the first company to actually care. He booked an estimate for the very next morning, and that single phone call instantly converted into a $4,800 job. No way, right? But the momentum didn't stop there. He hung up and immediately dialed a second lead, a guy named Marcus looking for an HVAC quote. He followed the exact same process. He was just faster to the dial. Marcus booked instantly, resulting in a $3,200 job right then and there. Boom, third success. A plumbing call. Again, faster callback. He books it for an $1,100 job. Let's just tally that up for a second. In one single afternoon, he booked $9,100 in actual scheduled work. And because he was buying abandoned leads in bulk, his acquisition costs dropped to a microscopic $8.50 per completed call. He literally out-earned the original companies simply by being faster. Now, what's really interesting here is you might be looking at these massive wins and thinking to yourself, okay, sure, so you're just being a better closer on the phone, right? But we really need to pivot away from that idea. This is not a story about magical sales scripts or high-pressure closing tactics. Let's slow down and unpack why this actually works in Section 3, the psychology of speed. To truly understand why this works so well, we have to look under the hood at something called decision fatigue. This is the secret engine driving those incredibly fast sales. Think about what it actually takes for a homeowner to finally pick up the phone. They've already passed their pain threshold. They have already spent the psychological energy required to admit they need help, research a company, and ask for a solution. Their decision fatigue is already spent. By the time they hit submit on a web form, they do not want to keep shopping around. All they need is for someone, anyone, to simply show up and be a professional before they throw their hands up and move on. Just look at it as emotional decay. Say a lead is generated at 10 a.m. At that exact moment, their urgency is at 100%. But if you wait to call them until, let's say, 2:47 p.m., that urgency has dropped by 35%. The lead has cooled off significantly. That homeowner might have already called 2 other companies out of sheer frustration. Speed isn't about selling better. Speed is about catching the buying signal while it is still red hot. If you call within 12 minutes, you'll become the very first option they consider right after dialing.
But here's where the story takes a pretty sobering turn. Section 4, the extraction trap. And this brilliantly illustrates the extreme financial temptation our contractor faced. It's undeniable. On the old path, generating his own leads cost him $450 per job with a measly 31% close rate. On the new path, buying competitor databases and just calling faster, that plummeted his cost to just $180 per job, and the close rate skyrocketed to 67%. The financial incentive was so overwhelming that he completely stopped generating his own demand. He simply capitalized on other companies' customer acquisition investments. Now, it operated in a gray area. I mean, the leads are public, the homeowners did request info, but he was entirely intercepting someone else's hard work.
Which leads us to these dark, macro-level consequences. Let's walk through this sequence together. Step 1. Contractors like him stop generating their own leads because, well, buying abandoned ones is cheaper. Step 2. Everyone in the market realizes this trick and starts buying competitor databases. Step 3. Because no one is feeding the top of the funnel anymore, aggregators and ad platforms dry up entirely. And finally, Step 4. The entire lead generation ecosystem collapses. If everyone optimizes purely for intercepting leads rather than actually creating demand, the whole system eventually eats itself. I'm not the best. I'm just faster to the carcass. That is a heavy realization to sit with. So we are left with the ultimate dilemma. The system works. Calling faster, intercepting the fatigue, capitalizing on the decay. It absolutely generates cash. But at what cost to the ecosystem? Do you want to build a business or just extract from one?
Aiphilia, liberating small business owners.